Most people play the game one move at a time. They react to what's in front of them, blindly pushing forward without ever stopping to consider what's asterisk coming asterisk. That's why most people lose. Because the real players, the ones who thrive in power, who dominate quietly and win consistently, they're never thinking about just the moment. They're thinking 3, 4, 5 moves ahead. They're not reacting, they're orchestrating. They step into every situation like a chessboard, not wondering what they can get asterisk now asterisk, but calculating what they'll control asterisk next asterisk. This is the first law of dominance. Never live in the present moment emotionally, only strategically. You can be fully aware of what's happening now, but your mind must always be parked ahead. What's the outcome? Who benefits from this choice? What does this conversation set up in the future? What are they asterisk really asterisk trying to get from me? And what can I offer that leads them exactly where I want them to go? Every interaction becomes a play, and you're both the lead and the director. To outsmart anyone, you have to stop playing checkers and start playing chess. Most people say what's on their mind. You don't. You say what leads the other person to reveal something more useful. Most people are eager to get attention, give opinions, or declare their plans. You resist that urge because every word you say prematurely can be used against you. Every piece you move without deeper intent creates exposure. But when every action is part of a larger strategy, you're no longer responding to the conversation, you're asterisk controlling asterisk it. This kind of thinking begins with detachment. Emotion narrows your vision, logic expands it. So when you're in a room, you're never just listening to the words. You're listening for weakness, listening for contradictions, studying body language, clocking ego, mapping out dynamics. You're asking yourself, what do they want? What do they asterisk fear asterisk losing? What lever can I quietly pull that tilts this situation in my favor? Not just today, but next week, next month, next year. Machiavelli said, asterisk, the wise man does at once what the fool does finally. Asterisk meaning, you move first, but not loudly. Quietly, subtly, you plant seeds instead of launching bombs. You don't need to fight for control if you've already manipulated the environment to work for you. By the time others realize what you've done, they think it was their idea the whole time. That's what thinking multiple moves ahead gives you: defense through offense, advantage through anticipation. You stop being surprised by opposition because you already saw the punch coming 3 conversations ago. You set up your defense before they strike. You created a pivot plan before the betrayal came. All because while they were busy feeling powerful in the now, you were busy designing the asterisk after asterisk. People love to gamble with words, with loyalty, with decisions. They wait to see what happens, they roll the dice, and they call it risk-taking. But there's a difference between taking risks and being reckless. Calculated risk, that's strength. Blind risk, that's self-sabotage. The Machiavellian mind doesn't rely on luck. It operates like time itself, always moving ahead, always reshaping the board before anyone else notices the pieces have shifted. Now here's the best part about playing 3 moves ahead. Most people asterisk can't follow you asterisk. You'll frustrate them, confuse them, outmaneuver them without even trying too hard. They'll think you're lucky. They'll call you cold. They'll say you always seem prepared. That's because you are. You're not guessing. You're creating patterns. You're not in the room trying to be liked. You're in the room setting traps with a smile. And even if they catch on too late, they still walk into them. Because once you've shaped the direction of the conversation, they're reacting. And once they're reacting, you've already won. There's something brilliant about transitioning from reaction-based thinking to anticipation-based dominance. Your schedule clears, your threats shrink. You become a storm that moves with no warning, precise, targeted, and impossible to map until the damage is already done. You position yourself so well, and with such intention, that you're always the one who walks away with the leverage. Not sometimes, not occasionally, always. So stop playing for the moment. Stop letting emotion collapse your vision to the next 5 minutes. Start thinking like a predator, not rushing, not forcing, not hoping, watching, calculating, planning. Every move you make should unlock a door that they don't even know exists yet. That's how you stay dangerous even when you say nothing. That's how you dominate without the world seeing it happen. Outsmart them not by being louder, sharper, or more aggressive, but by thinking so far ahead they never even realize the game started. If you want to outmaneuver anyone, friends, foes, competitors, even allies, there's one absolute rule you must live by. Never let them know what you're really after. Conceal your intentions with discipline, with precision, with silence that feels so natural it doesn't raise suspicion. The moment people understand what drives you, what you want, what you're planning, they start calculating against you. They adjust, they defend, they resist. That's when the game gets hard. But when your desires are hidden, your moves look random, and your motivations seem harmless, you control the board without anyone realizing their asterisk. Is asterisk a game being played? Most people are desperate to be understood. They tell on themselves constantly. They announce their goals. They claim their values. They explain their emotions in excruciating detail. And in doing so, they reveal the exact levers that can be pulled to disrupt them. Once someone knows what you're working toward, they can delay it, interfere with it, or worse, use it to bait you into disadvantages disguised as opportunities. That's why open intentions are a liability, and that's exactly why the person who masters concealment is the person who wins without ever needing to raise their voice. Silence isn't just the absence of words. It's a strategic smoke screen. You let others fill in the blanks. You let them assume asterisk. If they think you're passive, let them believe it. If they think you're ambitious, distract them with false goals. If they think they know what motivates you, feed them a version of the truth that leads them down the wrong path. The goal is never just to hide what you're doing. The goal is to make them completely misread you. Because if they're targeting the wrong version of you, they're wasting energy attacking shadows, defending against threats that don't exist. Every word you speak is a risk. Every time you clarify your intention, you reduce the mystery. Every time you offer your true direction, you give power to someone else. And power in the hands of the unqualified, even for a moment, can undo months of strategic setup. When they know your next move, even halfway, the element of surprise dies. And surprise is one of your greatest weapons. It lets you cut deeper with less effort. It disarms without violence. But it only works when you've given them nothing to expect. This is why acting unpredictably matters. Not as a gimmick, but as a tactic. If they can't map your behavior, they stall themselves. If you're sometimes warm, sometimes cold, sometimes unreadable, sometimes engaging, they never feel sure enough to mount an offense. They hesitate. That hesitation is where influence slips in. It gives you time to dictate the flow of interaction, shape perception, and steer every dynamic without resistance. The moment they feel confident in who you are, or what you're trying to do, they've found your rhythm. That's when they start dancing to their own tune. But if you shift the tempo constantly, quietly, with intention, they dance to yours, whether they know it or not. Don't get it twisted. Concealing your intentions doesn't mean lying openly or faking who you are. That's sloppy. That's theatrical and very easy to detect over time. What you do instead is play honest in all the ways that don't matter. You let people see fragments that seem like the full picture. You show them your smile, your opinions, your preferences. You engage, you're calm, likable, maybe even a little vulnerable in calculated moments, but nowhere in that presentation do you drop the core of your intent. What you really want, what you're actually building, that part stays locked behind the glass. That's how legends rise without resistance. Quiet architects, dangerous minds. You want people looking at your facade while the fortress is built behind it. You want them distracted by your charm, or your detachment, or even your mistakes, while your machinery hums in the silence. Let them underestimate you. That underestimation will build you cover. While they think you're aimless, you're inching toward absolute control. While they believe you're harmless, you're organizing the conditions of their defeat. All of this requires discipline, of course. Not just of what you say, but of what you want to say, because the ego always wants to be known. It wants to be seen winning. It wants acknowledgement, praise, credit, but the ego is a traitor. It leaks your position in exchange for attention. That's why if you want to win in silence, you must kill your need to be recognized. The power you're building isn't Instagrammable. It's invisible, it's patient, it's tactical, and eventually when you do surface, when the results are irreversible, there will be no counter, no undoing. It will seem sudden, but it wasn't. It was just silent. So while others perform in public, racing toward the spotlight, convincing themselves that being loud means being strong, you keep building in private. You keep them guessing, doubting, wondering, because by the time they realize what you've done, it's already done. You control more when they understand less. Everyone walks around with a weakness wrapped in pride. That weakness. Ego. The ego is always hungry, always needing to be fed recognition, praise, attention, validation. And the truly Machiavellian mind sees that need not as a flaw to avoid, but as a lever to pull. If you want to outsmart anyone, don't challenge their intelligence, play to their vanity. Make them feel clever, admired, and in control. And while they're basking in the glow of their own importance, you're already reaching past their confidence and shaping their behavior from the inside out. Ego blinds people. It makes them predictable, easy to read, easy to disarm. Say the right compliments and most people will show you precisely who they are. They'll expose their beliefs, their biases, their insecurities. They'll hand you the blueprint without you ever needing to ask. Why? Because they want to be seen. They want to be mirrored. And if you can mirror someone just well enough, they start relaxing. The mask drops. That's when control begins, not through force, but through permission. You didn't take their trust. You allowed them to give it to you, and they did so willingly, eagerly, thinking it was all on their terms. That's the art. Let people feel powerful. Let them think they're leading the conversation, making the decisions. Meanwhile, you're 3 steps ahead, subtly guiding everything they believe they're controlling. It's not about deceiving maliciously. It's about strategic positioning. People are more pliable when they feel superior. So let them talk. Let them believe they're winning. While they're distracted by their own voice, you'll be listening for information, looking for weakness, watching patterns unfold right in front of you. Flattery is the simplest tool and one of the most underestimated, but overdone, it's obvious. The compliment must feel earned. It must feel like it came from someone who sees something others don't. Because when your praise feels rare, personalized, and unexpected, it sinks deeper. You're not boosting their ego for attention. You're doing it to gain insight, access, and authority without ever needing to demand it. Make someone feel seen in the exact way they've always wished to be seen, and you won't need power. They'll hand it to you. The thing is, most people are just waiting for someone to validate their internal narrative. They might say they want honesty, but what they really want is confirmation of their importance. If you can understand what story they're telling themselves and speak into that story, you'll bypass all their defenses. It's hypnotic. They'll open up, they'll trust you, they'll consult you for opinions they were trying to protect from everyone else. Because you didn't challenge them, you aligned with their version of reality, even if only for a moment. That doesn't mean you agree with everything they say. It means you know how to agree, when to nod, and exactly which part of the ego to stroke. There's a difference. You're not absorbing their truth. You're reflecting it long enough to get what you need. Most people make the mistake of correcting, competing, confronting. Don't waste your time. Outright contradiction creates friction. Subtle validation breeds influence. Take this into negotiations, leadership, even casual conversations. Everyone wants to feel like the smartest person in the room. If you try to outshine them, you make yourself a threat. But if you position yourself as someone who respects their ideas, who just wants to learn, they let their guard down. They feed you details, they let you closer. And when the moment comes to steer the direction, they'll trust your suggestion not because you forced it, but because you made it feel like it came from them. There's a difference between manipulation and mastery. One is desperate, the other is deliberate. You don't exploit people's egos by being dishonest. You do it by being observant, by listening when others speak instead of waiting to talk, by noticing the micro-expressions, the pauses, the moments they light up when talking about themselves. Every little sign is a key. Learn to turn that key subtly, and you'll be accessing doors they didn't even know they closed. Remember this, most people are too proud to be told what to do, but almost everyone will follow a path they think they chose. That's how you lead without leading. That's how you influence without confrontation. That's how you dominate from beneath the surface, by letting them win while pulling all the strings yourself. Because the easiest minds to control are the ones too full of themselves to notice they're being guided. Everyone wants to control behavior. They want obedience, approval, agreement. But real power doesn't lie in controlling how someone acts. It lies in controlling how someone perceives. Because once you control perception, behavior takes care of itself. People don't move based on truth. They move based on what they believe is true. And if you're the one shaping that belief, you've already won before the first move is even made. This is the game beneath the game. You don't need to pull the strings when you're the one who wrote the script. But here's the secret. Most people have no idea they're operating inside someone else's narrative. They think they're acting freely, making conscious choices, forming their own opinions. They don't realize that those opinions were planted, slowly, patiently, repeatedly. That's the power of a controlled narrative. It becomes truth without ever needing proof. A well-crafted narrative spreads like fog, quiet, invisible at first, until suddenly, no one can see past it. To outsmart anyone, truly outsmart them, you must learn how to control how they see you, how they see themselves, and how they see the situation, It doesn't matter what's actually happening. If they believe you're the authority, if they believe you're the opportunity, if they believe you're 5 steps ahead, they will act accordingly, even when you're not. That belief reshapes their behavior without you ever giving them an order. The Machiavellian mind knows that the battlefield isn't out in the open, it's asterisk up their asterisk, in the headspace of everyone in the room. Think of how influence works. You don't need to demand respect if you've created an aura that commands it. You don't need to explain your competence if your presence has already convinced them. You don't need to say what you're worth if the room has already decided that asterisk you're not to be questioned asterisk. That kind of silent dominance doesn't come from talking. It comes from calculated impressions, subtle cues, and the discipline to make others asterisk feel asterisk something without forcing it. But there's another layer. It's not just how they see asterisk you asterisk. It's how you make them see asterisk themselves in your presence asterisk. If you can make someone feel smarter when they're with you, they'll want to be around you. If you make them feel valuable, they'll want to listen to you. But if you make someone feel asterisk beneath asterisk you too soon, you trigger their defenses. And when people feel defensive, they become stubborn. So what do? You don't challenge their identity. You asterisk reshape asterisk it, quietly. You point to a better version of them, show them how that version aligns with you, and you let asterisk them asterisk decide that's who they want to be. It sounds like manipulation, but it's more nuanced than that. You're not forcing anyone. You're simply creating the environment that encourages the decisions you already calculated. That's what a narrative is. It's the invisible pressure that guides someone's behavior without them feeling pushed. It's not about deception either. It's about selection. You're not lying. You're directing focus. You're choosing which part of the truth gets amplified and which part gets buried. And that distinction changes everything. Want loyalty? Make them feel like your values align. Want compliance? Make them believe it was their idea. Want influence? Make their success feel tied to your presence. Narratives don't need to be spoken outright, they just need to be reinforced. Repetition matters. Consistency matters. The tone, the timing, the framing of every message, every small signal either strengthens or weakens the story you're building in their head. And just as you shape how others see you, you must also protect how others talk asterisk about asterisk you. Because third, party perception is lethal. If someone else writes your story louder than you do, you lose ground. So you promote your own myth without looking like you're trying. You let your results speak louder than your voice, but you ensure those results are asterisk seen asterisk. You let others speak highly of you, but behind the scenes, it was you who placed the lines in their mouths. This isn't arrogance, this is architecture. You're building a structure of influence from the inside out. To control narrative at this level takes restraint. Most people sabotage their own perception by needing to explain everything. They try to correct misunderstandings. They overreact to rumors. They talk too much, clarify too often, defend when no one's attacking. That need to be asterisk right asterisk eventually robs them of being asterisk respected. Asterisk you don't have to correct the story. Asterisk you just write a better one. Asterisk one that is more attractive, more consistent, more emotionally rewarding to believe. People will align with it naturally because people don't follow what's true. They follow what feels true and what benefits them to believe. That's how you dominate before you confront. That's how you win without clashing swords. Because when you control what they see, you control what they'll do. Control the narrative and you control the world. Emotion is natural, it's human, it's hardwired into every decision we make, every instinct we have. But if your goal is power, real power, lasting power, you don't have the luxury of being led by it. You can feel it, but you don't follow it. The second you let emotions sit in the driver's seat, your strategy takes a backseat. That's the difference between those who play to feed their ego and those who play to win. Emotion makes noise. Logic makes moves. Learn to detach and let intellect reign, and you shift from being a player in the game to quietly running it. The world will bait you with emotion at every corner. Disrespect, praise, rejection, praise again, moments that tug at your pride, your insecurities, your need to be heard. That's the trap. And every time you react from feeling instead of calculation, you give someone else control of the board. You may think you're defending your honor, making a statement, standing your ground. But more often than not, all you're doing is proving that you're easy to move. And the one that's easy to move is easy to manipulate. That's the key detachment, not from goals, not from ambition, not from people, but from the need to feel something asterisk while asterisk executing something. Because when your mission and your emotion share space, the mission loses clarity. People who win over and over again are not constantly hyped up or on edge or reacting to every shift. They're calm, calculated, and ruthlessly clear-headed. They're minimal with emotion and maximal with precision. That doesn't mean you're emotionless. It means you're disciplined. You don't get high on compliments. You don't spiral from criticism. You don't crave revenge. You crave results. If someone betrays you, you don't explode. You log it, adjust, and move accordingly. Emotion seeks attention. Logic seeks advantage. You don't want attention. You want the asterisk position, asterisk, the leverage, the influence, the win, and the freedom to never owe anyone anything emotionally. When you detach properly, you make faster decisions. You cut off what's slowing you down. You don't hesitate when it's time to walk away. You're not frozen in what it asterisk feels asterisk like, as in, I feel bad, this is uncomfortable, I wish it were different. You don't wish. You asterisk move, asterisk, that's what keeps you dangerous. You move when others freeze. You'll see it in opponents, in people who posture as confident but live in their feelings. Watch how quickly they crack under pressure. All it takes is a perceived insult, a few delayed responses, a power shift, and their mask slips. That's because they built their strategy on emotion instead of execution. They're reliant on how they feel asterisk about asterisk the game instead of how to asterisk win asterisk the game. When you build your strategy outside the emotional frame, you can see clearer. You notice who's bluffing. You see through false loyalty. You avoid sentimental deals and emotional debts. You remain steady when everyone else is reacting. That stability creates gravity. People start to orbit around your calm while they spiral in their own chaos. You become the still point in a spinning room, and in that stillness, you control everything. This mindset also gives you power over timing. Because when you're not rushing to fix your emotional discomfort, you're willing to wait. You're willing to be silent longer, to strike later, to walk away and let them feel your absence, not your reaction. Emotional players want an answer asterisk now asterisk. Logical players let silence do their work for them. That kind of patience unravels those addicted to urgency. And trust me, most people, especially the ones who claim to be in control, can't stand silence. They fold under the discomfort of not knowing what you're thinking. The ultimate edge is this: when you make peace with being misunderstood, with not getting emotional closure, with not proving your point, you free up your entire mind for efficiency. You stop obsessing over moments that don't matter and start executing on strategy that does. The people who chase emotional validation always play the game one step behind, trapped in proving themselves. But when you've mastered detachment, you don't need to be understood. You don't need to be liked. You don't even need to be seen. You only need to win. So keep your heart in the shadows and your mind in the game. Be surgical with your decisions. Execute, detach, and move without ceremony. Never let the need to feel outweigh the discipline to think. Because once you let go of emotion as your compass, the map clears, and every target becomes yours for the taking. Control your feelings, or be controlled by them.